to British Stand. Some breaking news coming from the UK with regard to Keir Starmer. You can read it there in the title. The Prime Minister is is travelling back to London today to hold an emergency Cobra meeting, of course, following last night's events in Iran. In today's live stream, we're going to be going through what we know with regard to the Cobra meeting, and as always, we'll be taking your reaction and all of that kind of stuff down there in the live chat. So do get involved. But this is essentially follows on from yesterday, where 3 of the 5 main known facilities of Iran's nuclear program were bombed overnight. Of course, sorry for pronunciation, but Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan all struck in the strikes, which Israel said were conducted in full coordination with the United States. President Donald Trump revealed that a full payload of bombs was dropped on Fordo, the heavily fortified enrichment plant hidden in a mountainside that has been vital to Iran's nuclear ambitions. And the president later declared that the facility was now gone. Now, this is, of course, got lots of different international reaction for obvious reasons, and once we get to the UK momentarily with regard to Keir Starmer, Iran have said this. Essentially, the Iranian state media warned that every American in the Middle East is now a target following Donald Trump's bombing blitz last night. In a state televised broadcast, a TV anchor was heard issuing the warning towards both citizens and military personnel, stressing the US has committed a crime against Iran by violating Iran's airspace. It has no place in the Western Asian region. Mr. President of the United States, you started it and we will end it. The warning comes as Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi prepares to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Ahead of Monday's meeting, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov told Tehran that the Kremlin is prepared to work to de-escalate the situation. The White House is also believed to be discussing the possibility of meeting with Iranian officials. So as you can see there, of course, this has been the main story, of course, this morning. And people, of course, have been waiting eagerly to find out our involvement in terms of the UK and all of these kind of things, which we'll get to now with regard to Keir Starmer. And that's where the breaking news, of course, does come, and that Starmer has called a emergency Cobra meeting, which will take place today. We understand that the Prime Minister had been spending the weekend at his country retreat, Chequers, but will now be returning to London for the urgent meeting. Cobra, of course, standing for Cabinet Office Briefing Room A. Meetings are called in emergency scenarios, which do include including civil unrest and international conflicts. And speaking about the attack, Starmer called for de-escalation as he ponders the threat of an all-out war. So Starmer said it's important that we now de-escalate the situation, stabilize the region, and get the parties back around the table to negotiate. I've been speaking with international leaders this morning to that end. I want to reassure the British public that we're doing everything we can to stabilize the situation, to de-escalate the situation, and to get negotiated outcome. I'm very clear in my own mind that Iran cannot be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. That is the greatest threat to stability in that region. Starmer was called to action after Trump decided to intervene in the Iran-Israel conflict. And as we stated, the US did bomb 3 nuclear plants last night. So yes, there's going to be more updates with regard to what's going to be said at this Cobra meeting in due course later on today. We'll keep you up to date as the day goes on. But of course, from a British perspective, we're all wondering, are we going to be involved? It has been confirmed that Britain did not have any involvement in last night's bombing attacks, of course, on Iran. However, we'll certainly find out what comes of this Cobra meeting as the day goes on. It will be held today, and we'll find out just as to what is happening and potential UK involvement in this conflict or this situation that is currently ongoing in the Middle East. But let's get a little bit of live reaction from everybody here in the live chat and see what you think. Firstly, of course, on what happened last night with regard to Iran being bombed, and then, of course, Keir Starmer's comments. Janice says, just keep us out of it. We don't have the military air force to be involved. Cannon fodder. No, exactly. I think with regard to the British military right now, we're severely undermanned. I mean, people will suggest that we're not, but I think we've got 70,000 troops, which is not big enough at all. I mean, when I left in 2018, we had 80,000 troops, and even then there was sort of manning issues. Back in 2010, I think that number was around 100,000. So just goes to show that the numbers dwindling down, and I wouldn't really think that we've got the manpower to get involved in that way. But of course, people will be talking about aiding the United States in terms of airstrikes and all of these kind of things. But that's something that we will see as the day goes on. Mad Spaniel says, ooh, imagine getting a warning off Starmer. I bet they're quaking in their boots. The guy is about as popular as a turd in a swimming pool. I mean, you're not wrong. And to be fair, getting a warning of Starmer doesn't really send fear into my eyes. Sanguine Ango says, Iraq, but 10 times worse, 1,000%. Mark says, Starmer has no balls. Well done to Trump. God bless Israel. MP says this fool Starmer needs to be removed and quick before he makes a big mistake. So where do you guys stand on it? Do you stand, of course, in supporting the United States? Do you, of course, stand by supporting Israel? Or would you just not like the UK to get involved? In fact, I'll start a little poll whilst we're live right now. What do you think the UK should do? Back USA and Israel stay. There you go. Have a look. Danny says, silly little man trying to stay irrelevant in this matter. He's no snake. He's a snake. No wonder President Trump doesn't tell him nothing. Starmer is weak and spineless. Starmer just needs to keep his mouth shut and nod towards our Trump. I love how the live chat is just, whatever Starmer does, it's just absolutely negative. I absolutely love that, by the way. Everyone just hates Starmer, don't they? They really, really do. No one can trust him. No one can stand him. All of these kind of things. It's always great to see. I love it. Absolutely fantastic. Nobody trusts Big Keir. I mean, look, 58%, I know this doesn't speak for the whole of the UK, obviously, but I asked the question, what do you think the UK should do? And I put back USA and Israel or stay out. And 57% of you have currently said back the United States and Israel. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Hugo Bin says Starmer will side with Iran. Day gone by, the guy changes his opinion and changes his values as a person like we change underwear, literally, daily. Whatever sometimes you think where Starmer stands is his opinion changes literally a week later. You could see that with pretty much every single thing that he's brought into in our country. But then, of course, talking about migration, talking about all this, he U-turns on everything. That's the best way to describe him, just U-turning at absolutely every single possible moment. Very, very interesting indeed, but someone that certainly is never really full on with his decision. Bacon says, Keir want to look like action man, not succeeding. You look non-trustworthy and silly Keir. Just saying. Timothy says, no one will listen to Keir Starmer. He doesn't know what he's doing. I do get that feeling with regard to him as well, to be fair. I absolutely do get it as well. But guys, as always, we'll keep you up to date with the outcome of this Cobra meeting later on today. So if you haven't already subscribed and all that jazz, make sure you do. I'll do my best to sort of follow this with regard to the Cobra meeting and try and see what updates we get, and we can discuss it a little bit later on and see what it means for the UK going forward. But guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.